Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I just bashed my knee so hard into that mother effing coffee table back there. But we're going to get through it. So our house guest of the day is Deb Wicks. Deb, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Deb, check out our Patreon link in the description below. And you will also find down there our link for Paramount Plus if you are interested in trying out the live feeds. And if you use our link, we get a little kickback, and we love that. So thank you so much for the support, as always. Okay, so when we left off yesterday, Quinn, the new HOH, was getting ready to make his nominations, and he was planning on putting up Angela, Rubina, and Chemo. So this is a big deal. He's planning on putting up one of his fellow visionaries, but he had explanations for each of the nominees, right? So he told some people that Angela is just a placeholder and then he doesn't want her to go because he doesn't want to waste his HOH on her. But then he's telling other people like Rubina and Chemo that Angela is actually his target. So it was confusing who his real target was. We have some more clarity at this point. We'll see if that changes now with the veto, but we'll get there. So yeah, it was kind of looking like maybe Angela was a target for him, but not like 100% sure. Rubina, he was like, I've already burned my bridge with her twice. I put her up on the block during the deepfake HOH. He just voted for Tucker to go. So he feels like he's not in a great spot with Rubina. So she is also a potential target this week. And then Chemo, it really seems like it's just the third nominee, right? He's not really a target for Quinn at this point. But Quinn's kind of ticked off with Chemo. He doesn't feel bad about nominating him because he knows that Chemo would have chosen Tucker over him. Yes, absolutely. I think we all know that this is true. I mean, Chemo had a lot of stuff going on with Tucker that he never told Quinn about. And we've also seen Chemo spill a bunch of information to Tucker. So I think that's probably a good observation on Quinn's part. But T-Core is pissed that Quinn is planning to put up Chemo and Rubina. And she's saying if he does that, Quinn's going to be my number one target moving forward. She's also just pissed that her one-on-one with him was cut so short because she was like, I'm supposed to be one of your allies. Why am I not getting more time with you? She also seems to forget that she was part of a whole vote flip to get Cedric out and like blow up Quinn's game. And then she didn't tell him about that ahead of time. Again, she was also a part of all these different alliances without Quinn, didn't tell him about those. So yeah, she's kind of upset with Quinn for doing like exactly what she's done to him. I will say though, she didn't end up putting Quinn up on the block when she had the chance, but like maybe she should have. She has also said she will not vote for Quinn to win if he makes it to the end, and she's also going to try and make sure that other jurors do not vote for him to win. So she's like pissed at him. She cannot believe that Quinn would put up anyone from their group, you know, the Visionaries and Rubina, over Joseph and Leah. She can't believe that he's prioritizing his relationships with them over his relationships with T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina. So she doesn't want to speak up about this. What's new? But no, she has a good reason this time. She doesn't want to speak up about this with Quinn because she's afraid, what if the veto is used and he puts her up as the replacement nominee? Then they're really screwed. So she doesn't want to like bring this up at all to him yet. Maybe after the veto ceremony. Okay. Another situation we've been keeping an eye on. Quinn has been telling everybody basically that he wants to build a new majority alliance with 7 out of the remaining 10 house guests. Why? Why are we doing this at this point? Why are we forming a 7-person alliance this late in the game? The only time it's acceptable is like the first few weeks because it's ridiculous and entertaining. But at this point, why? This alliance would include everyone except for his 3 nominees, Angela, Rubina, and Chemo. Quinn was also talking about wanting to make a core group within that majority alliance. Hello, Pentagon. Hello, Frenzies. Like, he's just doing the same exact thing again. So his core, he's envisioning himself, of course, Chelsea, Cam, and T-Core. It blows my mind that he thinks that T-Core would be a part of something without chemo. Like, in what universe does that happen? Also, I can't believe he even thinks that she would trust him at this point. I mean, not just for the vote flip, because, like, yeah, she has also done a vote flip without including him. But the fact that he's planning on putting Chemo and Rubina on the block, and he thinks that T-Core is not only going to be okay with that, but will want to work with him, and not just in the majority alliance, but in that core alliance, why are you even bothering? It's going to be out within like 5 minutes of it being formed. So it's just wild to me. I don't know what's going on with the cast this season. They think they can just do whatever and then still work with people that they just turn their backs on. It's crazy. So anyway, yes, happy Labor Day weekend. That's right. I keep forgetting that Monday is a holiday because I'm going to be working on this. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoys. They had the nomination ceremony. Quinn did follow through on his plan, so he nominated Angela, Rubina, and Chemo. And apparently he did call Angela out during his speech. He made it known that she is his target. Well, guess what? Angela did not like that. Are we surprised? Her and Quinn have had this like rivalry going since the very first week. So Angela goes up to the HOH room a little while after the ceremony to talk to Quinn. And Angela's crying. She's like, sorry, I don't want to cry. Are you sorry? Do you not want to cry? Because I feel like a lot of her crying has been fake. Like I see her crying a lot, but I don't always see the actual liquids coming out of the eyes. But she's like, I'm sorry if I said something to upset you. I don't know why you're so mad at me. And Quinn's like, I was trying to be funny during the ceremony. I'm not actually upset about the stuff that I brought up at all. I'm not sure exactly what he said during this ceremony, but he's like, I wasn't trying to like actually publicly call you out. I don't take that stuff personally. I think he might take some stuff personally, maybe a little bit. But he says, I brought up defamation and stuff as a joke. So if you remember, Angela was accusing Quinn of defaming her when they had that whole situation when Angela made the comment, that's the group, when it was T-Core, Chelsea, Cam, Cedric, all them hanging out. And Quinn kind of made it seem like it was like a race issue. And then Angela was all pissed about that. So it was like a whole thing. I just remember her saying defamation and that making me laugh a lot. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know if the defamation comment was to do with that whole situation or what, but he's claiming that this was all a joke, right? He wanted to keep the meeting light. He says, Chemo and Rubina, I know they're going to be super pissed at me for putting them on the block. You're probably going to be super pissed at me. So I just wanted to like keep things light. So Angela's like, okay, I'm not mad at you and I understand. Sure. And she says, I'm going to work hard to win that veto. I just hope there isn't any weirdness between us because I thought we were okay until you made that speech. And Quinn says, we are okay. We are. He says, on a personal level, I adore you. You don't have to apologize for anything. I apologize if I didn't make it clearer that I was just trying to be funny. And he says, I don't dislike you at all. And I never could. Sure. He also encourages her to hang out more in the HOH room. Don't be shy. Like, come say hello. Okay, whatever. We'll be the judge of whether or not Quinn's nomination speech was funny when we see it on Sunday. I feel like a lot of the stuff that he thinks is funny doesn't quite land, but we'll see what he came up with. I don't know. So after this conversation, Quinn is talking to the cameras, and I just have to mention, he is always holding that white like sculpture that's in the HOH room. Like I'll just see him sitting upstairs in the HOH room holding that thing like all the time. So Quinn tells the cameras that was so uncomfortable with Angela. He's like, I don't know what to do in that kind of situation. I thought I made it very obvious that I was just joking in the nomination speech. So again, we'll see. But Quinn gives us a rundown of where he stands with a bunch of the other house guests. He says, game-wise, he feels pretty good with Chelsea. You know, they pulled off this flip together. I also feel like Quinn might be trying to take credit for the flip when I think Chelsea is the one who deserves it. She did all the legwork here, and Quinn kind of just like jumped on board when she asked him about it. But anyway, he feels like he's really rebuilding trust with her. You know, they had issues because he told people about the Pentagon Alliance, and we saw what happened with that. It all blew up. So she wasn't feeling great about him for a while, but he feels like they're making progress and getting closer again. As far as T-Core, he knows via Chemo that T-Core is not super pleased with him because, again, he put Chemo and Rubina up on the block. So he's like, I do want to work with her, but in order to do that, I feel like I'm going to need to create something with Chemo as well, because that's the only way she's going to feel comfortable. I mean, we could have told you that, right? But also, are you going to add him to the Majority Alliance too? That's a lot. But it seems like Quinn wants that Majority Alliance, but also wants like 3 other alliances. Like he's trying to basically make alliances with everyone except even Angela at this point. So it's crazy. So Quinn also brings up that he knows Leah is probably going to stab him in the back. And he says, you know what? She already has. You know, I've heard that she was throwing my name under the bus. She was trying to get me on the block, and she's denying it. But in his heart, he knows it's true. But he says, I'm still not going to put her up because I'm weak. Oh my God. She has misted him. He's got that Leah mist. Yeah. So he says, again, about Rubina, I've put her up twice now. So he says if Angela does not go, it's going to have to be Rubina. She's going to have to be the one to leave because she's going to be coming after Quinn. I mean, yeah. He says Joseph is a snake, but we are snakes together. And he says, I hope that Joseph is just not going to try and like start some sort of alliance with Leah. I mean, he's definitely trying. They got their little Childem final 2. I don't know how loyal Leah actually is to that. I feel like Leah's not really loyal to anybody. I've seen her throw pretty much everybody under the bus. So, yeah. And he also says when it comes to Cam and Mackenzie, he does not want to be against them. He doesn't want to be an enemy to them. So that's why he's trying to work with them. He does not want those two potentially coming after him. Okay, so Quinn also, he reveals straight up, yes, Angela is his target. He says that Angela needs to go because she's taking up a final 2 seat if she makes it into the jury. Everyone's just going to want to like drag her to the end. Don't take Angela from us, please. We lost Tucker pre-jury. Please do not also take Angela from us pre-jury. That would be so annoying. But Quinn says, I don't want to end up in a situation where I'm up on the block next to Angela and then I go home because everybody just figures they're going to drag Angela along. He says, if I do end up going home, I want it to be because I was up on the block next to the eventual winner of this season, not Angela. So that's his reasoning with all that. Quinn also talks about Chemo. He's like, you know what? I might have messed up by putting Chemo up on the block because now people are going to be mad at me, right? Chemo, T-Core, they're not super thrilled with him. But he's like, who else realistically does Chemo have to work with besides T-Core and Rubina? He doesn't trust Mackenzie, Cam, whatever. And also he cannot stand Leah. And Quinn seems like personally offended that Chemo does not want to work with Leah. He's a simp. He's simping for Leah. But yeah, he's basically saying like, what? Chemo is going to work with who now? He has to work with me. He can target you. Yeah, anyway. Quinn was also counting his potential jury votes if he makes it to the end. And he feels like he can win this game. He says, I just have to make it to the end. I don't have to get fancy. I don't have to do anything crazy. I just have to get there. But then he was like, who would I lose against? So he thinks that if he gets to the end with Chelsea, T-Core, or Joseph, he would lose against those 3. More so Chelsea and T-Core. He said maybe Joseph. So he's like, I'm going to have to snipe Joseph at some point. I can't let him get to the end because he could beat me. Okay, so that's interesting. But anyway, Chemo and T-Core have a chat in the back bedroom. And Chemo believes what Quinn says about Angela being the target. He's like, I don't think he's actually coming after me. or Rubina. However, he's not sure what other people are thinking, because just because he's not Quinn's target doesn't mean other people don't want to vote him out. So he's a little bit nervous about that. But he thinks if one of them can come off the block, the other one should have the votes to stay against Angela. And honestly, it's tough to say at this point because it's so early in the week. Anything could change. We know that Quinn wants Angela out, but like, what does everybody else want? We don't know yet. But T-Core says Quinn should not be putting people up unless he's willing to risk them. Really, T-Core? Says the person whose ally was evicted on her HOH. But she says she only put Tucker up last week because she thought for sure he would win one of the competitions, either the veto or the AI comp. Also, she was willing to risk him because there's always that possibility that he wouldn't win a comp. And I don't think she seems all that upset about Tucker leaving. I don't think she was actively trying to get rid of Tucker, but I also don't think she's like super upset he's gone. So they agree. Tucker seemed off last week in the competitions. They feel like he was distracted by his showmance with Rubina. Yeah, there was a lot of drama surrounding all that. I think it was quite a bit distracting for him. Also, he missed his dog. Also, he didn't understand how the puzzle worked in that AI arena. But in other news, Angela was asking Mackenzie, would you play for me if I get house guest choice, if I choose you to play? And Mackenzie's like, yeah, of course, pick me. I've got you. I'll use the veto on you. But like not too long after that, Mackenzie goes and talks to Chelsea and she's like, I don't want to get picked. I don't want to play this veto. And she says, if I do play, I want to throw it because she has won, 3 competitions now? 2 AI and 1 on the very first day, the Ainsley comp. So she's like, I'm turning into quite the comp beast. You know, I took out Tucker. I beat him in the arena. So I feel like she's worried about the target on her back growing as she wins more and more competitions. But it's funny because she keeps bringing up to everybody, like, I don't want to be the new comp beast. And she's just kind of like drawing attention to that fact over and over again. So it's like, girl, rein it in. But yeah, she says she wants to throw the comp because she doesn't want to win again and have people looking at her like she's some comp beast. I mean, I don't think they're really looking at her like that, but she doesn't want it to happen. So Quinn had a quick game chat with T-Core last night, and he's like, we really need to figure out a game plan because people want to work with us, right? We need to strike while the iron is hot here. And Quinn says, I think we should try to carve something out with the more self-interested players. So he says, if we could get something with like Chelsea and Cam, Joseph, me, you, Chemo. What is this alliance? So now this is another like 6-person alliance. I feel like he's trying to make like 5 different alliances this week. It's insane. He has not solidified any of them yet, but he has talked about a lot of them. So he tells T-Core again, people want to work with us, but specifically you. People want to work with you, Miss Popular. So T-Core did not have much to say to him during this combo. She was just like, okay. She okayed and all the way through that conversation. She is over him. She does not want to work with him. So yeah, that was a short one. But the rest of last night, people are getting tired of Joseph. He spent much of yesterday and last night talking about Tucker, which I will say was a very popular conversation topic for everyone. So many people were talking about Tucker over and over and over again yesterday. Of course. I mean, he's a huge personality leaving the house. He really left his mark. So like, it makes sense that they're all talking about him. But Joseph was over the top. Joseph kept talking about his final 2 with Tucker. And he was like, yeah, I felt good about potentially going to the end with Tucker because I felt like I could beat him. Yeah, he was winning competitions, but I've got like the best social game in the house. I've got an amazing social game. Why would you say that? Why are you telling everyone this? And he was also saying that he gets a ton of airtime. He probably gets more airtime than most of the other house guests. What does that have to do with anything? He was also telling Chelsea how he wants to make it to the end of this game without winning any competitions, just like Dr. Will. He was pretending like he didn't know who Dr. Will was. He was just like, oh yeah, the guy, Dr. Will or whatever. So it's a lot. Like, way too cocky. Why is he sharing all of this? It's too much. So as a result of Joseph blabbing so much, Chelsea, Cam, and Mackenzie are now talking about how they're going to push for Joseph to be the renom if the POV is used. They would love to take him out, and I honestly think that would be hilarious. But anyway, today they had the POV player picks this morning. So of course we have Quinn the HOH playing, the 3 nominees, Chemo, Rubina, and Angela, and then we have Joseph again and Leah playing as well. So I believe at one point Quinn pulled Angela's chip and she picked Joseph. You know, to keep it consistent, stick with the bit. Also, everybody knows Joseph has been really bad in competitions, so it's more of a chance for other people to win. So after the picks, Quinn and Joseph are chatting, and Quinn says he would like for Angela to go this week. So his reasoning, again, he's saying it's going to be way too easy for people to just keep dragging Angela along because they think that they can beat her in the end. And he says, if we're on the block next to Angela, we're going to go. People are going to vote us out over her. So he says, by taking Angela out this week, we would be opening up second place. It's going to give somebody else the opportunity to get second place instead of her. I mean, it's not a given that she's going to go all the way to the end. I freaking wish. That would be really entertaining. But Joseph's like, yeah, you're right. You're right about that. That's true. But counterpoint, he says that Angela loves him and Leah. I'm sorry, but Angela will flip on anyone like this. I mean, we saw what happened with Tucker, right? She was like obsessed with him. He used the veto on her and she still turned on him. So I don't know what Joseph was talking about, but Joseph says, I can convince Angela not to put up you or to put you up if she wins HOH. I can make sure that you're safe. No, she's not going to listen to you. So yeah, Quinn still wants Angela out, but Quinn also brings up how he wants to create something with Joseph, T-Core, and Chemo. Another alliance. Oh my God. And Joseph is like, well, we can't leave Leah out. We got to work with her. But Quinn is like, no, Chemo doesn't want to work with Leah. And if we want to work with T-Core, we have to bring Chemo in to make sure that T-Core is comfortable. So Joseph's like, all right, well, we're going to have to at least tell Leah about this alliance. Is this even going to happen? I don't know. Because again, he's coming up with all these plans for potential alliances. And then I don't see him actually following through on any of them yet. But Quinn really wants to get this thing going because he doesn't want T-Core and Chemo to come after him. It's too late. The damage is done. You put Chemo and Rubina on the block. Like, what do you think is going to happen here? So they had the POV competition. Again, the players are Quinn, Chemo, Rubina, Angela, Leah, and Joseph. So for this competition, it sounds like they had to build a robot. I believe it was like an 11-piece robot. There were also some decoy pieces in the mix. I know they had to find the pieces in the dark, or at least that's what it sounded like. I don't know if they also had to build it in the dark. Like, I don't know if this was a complete darkness situation or just part of the comp, but there's some darkness involved. So we find out that Leah won the power of veto. Good for her, right? She's super excited that she won a competition. She's kind of emotional about it. So Leah is celebrating her win with Mackenzie and Chelsea in the bathroom. And Mackenzie's like, I think it'd be so cool if you use the veto on Angela. And they're thinking, oh my God, Quinn could put T-Core up on the block. And then that whole trio will be up there together. We could guarantee that one of that trio will be leaving this week. So Chelsea's like, I don't know that I see Quinn doing that. She agrees to be pretty sick, but she doesn't see Quinn doing that. She figures he probably just wants nominations to stay the same so that he won't have to get any more blood on his hands by putting up a replacement nominee. I think Chelsea's right about that. I think ideally Quinn would want it to stay the same, especially since he's already told everyone who's off the block that they're going to be safe this week. So it'd be pretty crappy if he had to go back on that. But we don't know what Leah's going to do. So then at one point, Joseph was talking to the cameras in the back bedroom. This dude's delusional. Delulu. Joseph says, I feel like I could have won that one, but I didn't want to. I don't want to have to do that. So he wasn't trying his hardest. But if he was, he could have won. Okay. He also says at the same time he's happy for Leah because that's his girl. And he says, maybe if Leah uses it on Angela, then Chelsea can go up and we can get rid of Chelsea. Chelsea? No. Quinn is not putting Chelsea up on that block. Watch things change, and he does. But no, at this point, no, he's trying to build that bridge with Chelsea again. He's trying to build that trust. I don't see him doing that. But who knows? We don't know if Leah's going to do anything with this veto. We don't know if she's going to try and shake things up or if she's just going to keep the nominations the same. We'll find out. But we'll see. I have to say, the tone of the house right now, it's been very down ever since Tucker left. Some people are sad that he's gone. There's also just like, it's like a new era in the game without Tucker there because it's just so like, now what? Also, he was just such a huge presence in the house that now it's so much quieter and there's so much less chaos. But we'll see. I do think it's going to ramp up again somewhat once they get over the initial shock of Tucker being gone. But yeah, yesterday was kind of so we'll see what happens. But I want to thank you all so much for watching and for being here. And I want to thank our super chatters as well. The CAC16, thank you so much as always. Really appreciate it. Excuse me. And Lynn Hurst, thank you so much. You are amazing. And we really appreciate you as well. So, all right. There you have it. I just want to say this too. Joseph in the chat says, well, Maddie, part of it is that Tucker is gone and not sure if I brought it up. I did not bring this up yet, but you were right. Production ripped them a new one yesterday for voting out Tucker. Blaming them for his dyslexia biting him. I didn't hear about that, but I did see that production was being pretty strict with them when it came to like napping and fixing their microphones. Like the messages they were giving them, it seemed like they were pretty pissed at what they did with this vote. But yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. I will be back tomorrow with my mom to talk about the Sunday night episode. And then the next spoiler will be on Monday. So I hope you will join me for that. It's a little Labor Day spoiler. So have a great rest of your Saturday. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody.